Hey guys, we all know we should budget. We set up a budget, but the big problem is sticking to it. How do we stick to a budget? So in this video, I'm going to share with you 7 tips that I use with all my clients to help them stick to the budget. Hopefully 1 or 2 of them will work for you. Okay, so let's get started. 7 tips for helping you stick to your budget. Now, I've written them down here. I've got my notes today so that I'm more prepared. The first thing to do is to make sure your budget's realistic to start with. Too often I'll see people with all good intentions. They'll set up a budget and they'll say, no, I'm not going to spend on that anymore, or let's just cut it back to this, knowing full well that they're probably going to spend a whole lot more. So their budget's doomed from the start because it was unrealistic. So make sure you've got realistic amounts set aside for each expense. The second thing is to make sure that you have a way of tracking your spending. Make sure that it's easy. One of the things that happened with Grandma's Jars was that years ago we had written notes and then we had budget spreadsheets. But since we've had mobile app applications that have allowed people just to enter their expenses as they go, it's made things so much easier, and for want of a better word, my clients have become so much more compliant because they're actually recording their expenses as they happen. So try and make it as easy as possible for yourself. The third thing is to build in some rewards. Make sure that you're building in a reward system where you say, okay, well, if I can save for the next 2 or 3 weeks and achieve these particular goals in terms of my budget, then I'm going to allow myself to, go out for dinner or buy my lunch or buy a coffee on Fridays or something like that. But building some rewards so it's realistic. And a really good one, as I just mentioned, is if you're saying to yourself, well, look, I'm not going to drink coffee during the week, maybe just say, well, look, instead of not at all, how about on Fridays? As long as I don't go the rest of the week, Fridays I can buy my lunch, I can have a coffee and I can enjoy it. And I can tell you, by having that reward at the end of the week, it helps you stick to it throughout the week. Okay, the fourth thing is that to understand your why. Why are you budgeting? What is the motivation? What is the reason behind you setting up a budget now? Is it because you're just sick of the debt? You're sick of struggling from month to month? Is it because you want to take the kids overseas or you want to save a deposit for a house? Make sure you're really aware of that and write it down. Whenever I work with my clients, every January when I sit down with them, one of the things I get them to do is a goals worksheet so that we know, why is this important to you and what are you going to have to give up to make it happen. If we do this at the start of the year, it helps them become so much more aware of why they're budgeting, and this helps overcome some of those temptations. The fifth thing then is to know the situations in which you're tempted the most. Is it walking past a coffee shop on the way to work every day? Is it when you go to Bunnings, you know you're going to spend? If so, try and avoid some of those triggers, some of those temptations that are actually going to cause you to spend. Be aware of them and proactively remove yourself, or don't even go near those situations to start with. The sixth thing is tell your friends and your family that you're on a budget. Now, yeah, sure, they might, tease you a bit and give you a bit of a hard time and call you a tight bum and those sort of things, but that's okay, all right? Do you know what? Deep down, they actually hugely respect what you're doing. And I can tell you, when you've told a whole lot of people that you're budgeting, they actually want you to succeed. And you'll want to succeed, and you won't, from a pride perspective, you won't want to then have to turn around and say, oh, well, I gave up after a week or 2. There will be some pride attached to that. So get out there and tell people that you're budgeting, and if possible, find a friend that wants to do it with you. Keep each other accountable. And the 7th thing, if you can't find anyone to keep you accountable and you're struggling to do it by yourself, can I encourage you to think about some budget coaching, or at least one of our group coaching courses. Having a third person that can show you how to do it so that you know you're doing it right and can also keep you accountable for sticking to it is a huge, huge and very powerful thing. My clients on average save $800 a month. Most of them were in debt and getting further into debt before I started working with them. it's amazing how when you've got a system and you've got someone to keep you accountable, someone who actually cares, is not doing it just because they want to get aggro at you, but actually cares about the outcome, how much more money you can save. So if you're having trouble doing it by yourself, get in touch with us. In the comment section below here, there's a link where you can register for a free introductory coaching session. No obligation, no expectation beyond that. But if after we've had a good chat, you go, yeah, look, this is for me, then fantastic. If it's not, that's fantastic too. But you might find that you can save way more money than you ever imagined.
Now, if you are interested in saving money, if you're interested in spending less, if you're interested in breaking the paycheck cycle or paying off debt or achieving lifestyle goals that are really important to you, can I encourage you to subscribe to this YouTube channel? Every Tuesday and Thursday, we will release videos about managing your personal finances. So please subscribe below, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.